It's the Brian and Kindra Show with Brian Cook and Kindra Cox of Keller Williams Realty Elite.
I am Kindra Cox.
I'm Brian Cook.
Between the two of us, we have over 30 years of experience.
Sharing real estate tips and advice. Right here on Classic Hits 1073.
Hello, everybody. It's the Kindra and Mike Show.
No, it's the Mike and Kindra Show.
No. You heard that right.
No, Brian, no.
Starring Kindra Cox.
Yeah, that's me. Go ahead.
Keller
Yeah, go ahead and
Williams.
continue. That sounded good.
Oh, yes, it does.
So, whenever Brian and I started the Brian and Kindra Show, I harassed him that it was going to be the Kindra and Brian Show. And even
Ladies first.
well,
right?
to the point that he even had to do two websites for a while. So it was the Kindra and Brian Show.com and the Brian and Kindra Show.com. But now I'm like, no, that sounds wrong. Now it really is the Brian and Kindra Show, except Brian is in, actually, he's like up in the air because he's in the plane
Over
headed
the
to,
ocean.
I mean, I don't know if they're over the ocean yet. He just texted at 4 and said he was on the plane to quit bothering him. Rude. I mean, I was just trying to get some work done. Anywho, so he is on vacation, and so I'm like, sweet, it's the Mike and Kindra Show.
Yes.
So, what are we going to do?
Just talk about things. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't think we should talk about everything I want to talk about. Oh, my volume's still on my phone. I forgot to turn it off. I'm nervous about this, Mike.
I'm sorry.
Nervous.
Okay.
Can we do this?
Yes, we can. We're
What are we
doing
gonna
it
talk
right
about?
now.
Do you know what
have
we're gonna
to
talk about?
this. What do you want to talk about?
We are going to talk about surveys.
Surveys.
Do you
Why
know
don't
anything
we talk
about them?
that?
Do you know anything about surveys?
I might. Being that I am Mike Gosset with On Point Land Survey.
Thank you. That's who
Yes,
you
that
are.
is who I am.
Okay, I didn't really just pick up some stranger and be like, hey, let's do a radio show. So I am kind of excited because
Although I was only told 20 minutes ago to be here. So.
that's not true. I told you, like, I don't know, when did we play that game over in Enid? You can't have
2
dead
weeks
silence
ago.
very long.
2
See, I'm like
weeks
so
ago.
nervous.
2
I'm like
weeks
panicked.
ago.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago I
Yeah.
said, hey, by the way, when Brian's on vacation, we're going to do the Mike and Kindra Show. And you're like, cool, that sounds good. Actually, I think we may have talked about it a few weeks ago at a different event.
Yeah, I think
Regardless. So you've known at least a month.
so. I
For
have.
sure 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I reminded you earlier this week.
And then 20 minutes ago.
And I
reminded
reminded you
me
last
again.
week. And then at 5:05, I said, please don't forget me. I don't know why I worry about people forgetting me. Because they do. So rude how they always forget me. Anyway, so here we are on the Mike and Kindra Show. But no worries. Anyone who's like freaking out because Brian's not here with his darling statistics, and we all know how much I love those.
I can try to make some up for you.
You want to?
Yeah.
Okay, this will be fun. How many active listings are there right now in the 73801 area code?
64.
Dang, you're pretty good, Skippy.
Is that
Hey,
right?
speaking of Skippy, no.
Oh.
Branson, fabulous new car. I love it.
Thank you.
It looks super sporty and fun. It looks
Yeah.
kind of fast.
Yeah.
Watch out. Okay. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but okay. 68 active listings in the 73801
So
area
close.
code.
Okay.
I know you really were. Like, good job. Okay, do you know how many number of new residential listings in the 73801 area code?
3.5.
I can't find it on the live. 3.5. How
Can
do
we
you
have
get
a
3.5 new listings,
I'm
Mike?
not real sure.
Well, you were close. We
It
have
was
3.
statistics, and you can have halves and quarters, so I just took a guess.
3 new listings
Okay.
in the 73801
I was
area
very
code.
close
So that's in
again.
the last week, which is down a little bit. There had been 5 the week before. Interesting, huh? So, which could make somebody wonder if, because it was 5 like the last 3 weeks before, is it possible I don't really know how to do numbers? Maybe. I'm not going to commit to that. Okay, so how many number of residential pendings do we have? So this is under contracts in the 73801 area code.
I'll have to go with
Don't cheat and look at my paper.
4.
Oh wow. Okay, now you kind of stink at this game.
Why?
22 listings under
Are under
contract.
contract?
And then,
Wow.
and that's just the residential ones, and that's only in 73801. So it doesn't count like Moreland, or we're going to get to that in a minute. It's
So
going to
if
be
all
fun.
of those sell and there's only 68 active, there's going to be like 40 left.
No, say that again. I think you're
Well, there's
thinking a
68
little wrong.
active.
So those are
And
not
if
under
we
contract.
close all 20 of the, oh, they're not.
No.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I'm so glad we're playing this game. So this will help to explain things a little bit. So an active listing means that there's not a contract on it. It's still available for purchase. So if you wanted to buy another house then you could purchase one of these that is still an active listing.
Okay.
Pending means it's under contract. So it means that it was active, and then somebody loved it so very much that they contracted to purchase the property and are headed to the closing
and it's
table.
off the market?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, sometimes there are some circumstances that allow for that not to be off the market where it might still be actively marketed. But most of the time, it's off the market, not really being shown anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, so total number of residential pendings in the total of Northwest Oklahoma is actually 34. So outside of the 73801 area code, there's another 12 that are under contract. And then we have a new pending, only one new pending in Northwest Oklahoma. That may have been 73801 area code, I can't remember. And then let's see what else. What other kinds of interesting things does Brian have on this paper? I can't even read it. It's like little tiny print.
Very small, yes.
Yeah, my old people eyes don't like it. Not at all. Last week in Northwest Oklahoma, we had 5 closings, and 4 of those were specifically in 73801. So our current months of housing supply is 4.34 in the 73801 area code, which means, what? Do you know what that means?
In 4 months, we'll be out of houses.
Interesting. Is that what it means?
No, not
Because
really.
right now I'm kind of panicked a little bit. Like,
it's
what
really
does that
not.
mean?
More will come up for sale.
I know, right?
It will keep
I hope
going.
so. I
It
get
will
scared.
always keep going.
Because really and truly, like, we've had kind of a low inventory, and so it gets a little bit panic-making for me. Yeah, but today, I put a sign in the yard. Did everybody hear that? Let me say it again. I, Kindra Anna Cox, put a sign in the yard. I don't have to do that very often anymore. I think it's funny that the boss left it and was like, hey. So, 2627 Kansas is so stinking cute. So cute, and has a shop in the backyard.
Wow.
I know. It is so cute.
Highly sought after.
Yes. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be way fun. I was working on pictures, and we have to go back to the office to finish it, but it's going to be a great listing. Yep. So, all right, we're going to take a super quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about surveys and flood zones.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Comfort Zone is a multi-generational company serving Northwest Oklahoma in commercial and residential needs. Plumbing, air conditioning, heaters, refrigeration, sewer and drain cleaning, backhoe trencing, and crane service. And they are your geothermal specialists. Contact them at 580-254-5864 or stop by 116 East Main Street.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma and Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
On Point Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma and Southwest Kansas. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 19 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call On Point Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or at 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
This is Todd McHugh
Jackie Jones,
and Flor Castro
with Woodward County Abstract. Thank you to all of Northwest Oklahoma for letting Woodward County Abstract handle all of your real estate closing and title needs.
We provide real estate closings and title insurance for all of Northwest Oklahoma.
Pasen a verme para todas sus dudas y preguntas sobre bienes raíces. Con gusto les explico el proceso y estoy disponible a cada paso de la transacción para asistir con lo que usted necesite para cerrar su contrato.
We appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Connie Rowland in the Mortgage Department at Bank 7. Bank 7 is a full-service bank with over 40 years of combined experience. Melinda Russo and I are a dynamic duo team committed to making your loan process smooth. With a variety of loan products, we would love to sit down with you and discuss your loan options in person, or we offer online and over-the-phone application processing. The Woodward branch is located at 34th in Oklahoma. Find us online at mortgage.bank7.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Bank 7 is an equal housing lender in MLS 677297, phone 580-254-0100, where our best investment is you.
Okay, so we are back. This is the Mike and Kindra Show.
It's the Kindra and Mike Show, actually.
Whatever.
Stern
Okay,
Kindra.
so you just cracked me up big time, and I threatened you, don't make me laugh too much because I will lose it and you will be on your own. So a friend of mine texted me today and she said, I just watched the episode on cleaning, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't remember it. What happened? And she goes, oh my gosh, I accidentally asked my boss if he had gas. Oops, I didn't mean to. Totally an accident. She said, I wish I could have watched it. I'm like, oh, but you can. So, okay, Amanda Bronner, Woodward County Abstract.
Yep.
She just said that she loves surveys, which you evidently have old people ears now that you're 40, and you heard she loves her vase, right? That's what you heard.
Yeah, her
No,
vase.
she loves surveys, which is awesome because you are the surveyor. She says they make her her job super easy. So let's start with what a survey is, because I was just telling you that was something that shocked me when we were at that Enid Home Show. Was a lot of people. So let's go how this went down actually.
Okay.
So I would be like, "Hey, spin the spinny wheel," and then people would be like, "What's a survey?" Like that's how it went down. I'm like, dude, you don't know what a survey is? It's weird to me.
Really like that.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Maybe a few times it did. Okay.
It happened quite a bit though, really, didn't it? I feel like it was a very common question. What's a survey? What's a flood?
I get asked
So,
that question a lot, so it's not very uncommon to me.
that was
Yeah,
weird to me. Okay, so what is a survey?
Well, let's switch the roles here. Kindra, what do you think a survey is?
Oh my gosh.
No?
This is not
Can we
how
not
this
do
game
that?
is played, Mike. Okay, so a
we
survey
can't
is
play a game.
but I've learned a lot about surveys.
You have.
I mean, I can tell you
And
minutes and
bearings.
seconds are not inches and feet, like
Yes.
I read it out loud in
Yeah.
front of you one time. Oh, my nose itches. I think it's that cottonwood again. Okay, so a survey is you use evidence in the field and from the courthouse
Mhm.
to help find specific boundaries for a property.
I can,
How did I do?
as a licensed surveyor.
How did I do?
You did good.
Thanks.
Very good.
A plus?
Yes. A
Yes.
plus.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So as a licensed
Ooh.
surveyor, I can establish existing boundaries on the ground,
Okay.
create new boundary lines on the ground, or qualify in court as an expert witness over boundary line disputes. That's the three things I can do.
Somebody
that
thinks you're
nobody
an
else
expert.
can do. So,
How many licensed surveyors are on your team?
just the one,
Are you special?
of course.
I mean, oh, you're special.
Mhm.
It still said like a question. My bad. Okay, so let's talk about how you get your credentials to be a licensed surveyor, because it's pretty detailed, if I remember.
It is, yes.
So-
2-year degree
Mhm.
with 30-some hours of specific surveying courses, along with 6 years of experience in a responsible position to apply to the State Board of Licensure for professional engineers and surveyors to be able to take their exams, which is about 20 hours long.
The
So you get
exams are
licensed.
20 hours?
Yeah.
Is that what you just
There's
said?
4 exams in total.
Oh, holy heck.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
It's a lot of work.
Okay, so I
So-
probably don't want to put that on my next job. That doesn't sound fun.
It is fun.
Your
It's
job is
great.
fun. Getting into it sounds
Oh, it's not
very
that bad.
tedious. Interesting. Okay, so
Or you can do 4 years of college
Mhm.
with 4 years of experience.
what kind of college? Like, this has to be specific?
Well, you have
Did
to
you hear
have
my fun words just go
certain
weird then? Okay. cool.
hours in surveying related courses.
What kind of courses are those? Like math, science? What are you looking at?
Math, science, and history. That's what surveying is.
So, whenever we talked about this before, do you remember you said forensic, and I went, what? Like NCIS? Do you
Not
remember?
quite. Yes. Oh, yes. I remember.
Shocked me. Okay, so science-wise, you very much surprised me. Math made sense.
Right.
I didn't understand science. I didn't understand history. So tell us a little bit about why math, why science, why history are so important in
Well,
your
I think
survey
we should
world.
start with history
Okay, do it.
because
You're the boss.
boundaries have been around. Surveying have been around for forever. People own land. They want to know what they own. So once a boundary line's established on the ground, you have to maintain that position, and that's where the history comes in. You don't
Okay.
want to go changing what history has written, and that goes to the courthouse. The county clerk's office is a
Mhm.
history of all the records of deeds and everything. So you want to maintain that history, and the way you do that is to find evidence on the ground of those markers that have been there for years and years. And sometimes you have to use mathematical calculations to interpret deeds or proportion lines on the ground to make those property lines stay in the same place they've always intended to be.
Okay, one, I caught that you said intended. I don't know if I'm going to remember to come back to it, but I caught that you said intended. Help me come back to it.
Okay.
When you say evidence of those lines, tell me what evidence, what does that look like? I mean, because again, I'm all NCIS in my mind because my daughter.
Let's talk about Oklahoma.
So what's evidence?
Before the land run, all of Oklahoma was surveyed. Those original surveyors set stones, posts every half mile around.
And they're still there.
A few of them are left, yeah. They really are, from the 1890s.
Skeptical.
Yeah, I can take you to a couple of them.
Okay.
So that is evidence.
Okay.
I can walk out and look at that stone in the ground, and that is evidence of where that line is.
Okay, so then intended. What did you mean? Did I stump you? Did you forget you said it?
No, I didn't. I just wasn't ready for it yet.
Oh, my bad. Did you want to put something else there in the middle?
So sometimes the written description may not line up with what we find on the ground.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
What? I thought you knew everything, Mike. This is your show.
Know everything.
The Mike and Kindra Show.
I would have to refer you to an attorney. That's a legal question.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I love using that line
That's
myself.
How you get out of that.
That's awesome. Okay, so really and truly, though, errors would happen maybe because of a typographical error, so things along that nature.
Yes.
Or
somebody unqualified writes a description.
Right.
Because in Oklahoma, anybody can write a land survey description.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
All right, so one of the things, too, like my brain is moving way faster than my mouth, and I cannot catch them up yet. So another way that they think that happens is whenever I just put up my fence and I do a survey. Is that another time that the intended boundary changes? Yes, it has to be. Say I'm right. You just want to say I'm right.
I got to think about that for a while.
No, think about it. So, okay, so I have my little tiny house, and I have a fence right now. Okay.
Yep.
But I really don't love my fence because it's chain link, and my dog is kind of a jerk, and he is a little barky boy, and so I put up a new fence.
Right where your old fence is?
And I don't really like where my old fence is, so I'm gonna move my fence a little bit.
Wow.
But the neighbor didn't have a fence.
Okay.
So I'm going to put wherever I want to. Did I just change the intended boundaries of my property?
No, you did not.
Why? How could I not? I put my fence up somewhere else.
Because there's maps and drawings filed in the courthouse that show where your property
I hate it
lines
whenever
should
I
be.
lose. But it's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so let me ask you something real quick.
Okay.
Just kidding. I was going to ask you about getting stuck in storm rooms, but I changed my mind. We'll talk about that later. Did you just roll your eyes at me?
Towards the end of the show. How about that?
You're hoping I run out of. You're hoping that I run out of time, right? Not run out of topic. Okay, so let's just say again. There's a reason I do not have a storm cellar. All right, so evidence in the field. One of the other things that you had reminded me, because I mean, again, little brain, I guess. Geographically, that's evidence too, right?
Rivers, streams, creeks, trees.
How do you survey through a river?
Hedgerows.
Hedgerows.
Sure. You plant hedgerows on your property line.
Yeah.
That could be
Okay.
evidence of a property line. Sure.
Okay, so really, how do you survey through a river?
What do you mean? Through the river? Across the river?
Like, I don't know, it just was weird in my brain, but I guess it's a
You
dumb
drive
question
around to
because you
the
just
other
go
side.
on to the other side. Okay, so we're going to move right on.
Okay.
Let's talk about flood zones.
What about them?
Well, I think that they are very tricky. First off,
realtors really love them. I've heard that.
Not as much as my home buyers do.
Oh, okay.
So, flood zones get tricky. Because
Very tricky, yes.
some flood zones can increase your likelihood of having to have homeowner or have flood insurance along with your homeowner's insurance, which you can imagine gets very, very costly for our buyers.
Yes.
So, as everyone in Woodward knows, we have the detention pond, and I think there's another one being built. And you and I saw huge changes because of that.
In the flood maps
In the flood
that FEMA
maps.
puts out, yes.
So,
big changes.
Talk about that. Tell me everything you know about flood zones and how surveys would work with a flood zone.
We only have 12 minutes.
You can fit it into a little nutshell. About a 6-minute nutshell, because we have to have another break.
So to have federally backed money, the federal government wants to know that whatever they're putting their money on is safe, so they've created the National Flood Insurance Program years and years ago.
Okay.
They had to cover a lot of ground very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
so they didn't do the greatest of jobs in creating these maps. They did a good job for what they did, but they may not be exact.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be areas that are in a flood zone that are actually not in a flood zone, for one. We may be able to get you out of the paying flood insurance. So we do that a lot. We've done it several times together.
Right.
So
Right. Which is, so if
but
we
overall, I
focus
think
just
it's
on that part. Go ahead.
I think it's a very good plan. It protects a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people would build down by the creek or down by the river and be washed away every year.
Right.
Yes.
You're absolutely right, because we always, how many times does a buyer come in and say, man, I want a house and I want a creek and I want to build right there so I can see it and it's so beautiful, but really the creek rises, your house is gone, oh my Lanta, what a mess.
Yep.
Makes
Very
me think of some
costly
buyers that I had from Missouri
insurance.
and some of the pictures that they showed me from when they lived in a flood zone in Missouri. Oh my goodness. We don't really see it like that in Northwest Oklahoma a whole lot,
Yeah.
but in other areas it's a huge, huge deal.
Huge
So
deal. Especially down on the coastline. Very big
right,
deal. Yeah.
absolutely.
Louisiana.
Oh god, you lose me there anyway. Hello, humidity. Okay, but back to removing a property from a flood zone.
Okay.
So that's a TDS project.
It can be, yes.
Are surveyors the only people that can do that, or could I have done that without you? I can. I mean,
Sometimes
obviously I
it
couldn't.
depends
but
on the flood zone.
get a smarter person?
Which way it's zoned. But yes, there is a place on the elevation certificate for a homeowner to fill out their own information. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well, it looked like a huge process. I can't think how many months that took us, but it took us a few months to get it done.
I'd have to look at it again. I'm not sure if you can remove from the flood zone, but you can sure get a reduced rate on flood insurance by yourself.
All right, so the process is, if my house is in a flood zone, then I would call you and I would say, Mike, I am trying to see if I can get out of the flood zone or at least decrease my flood zone insurance. And so you come, and what do you do? What's your process?
Well, we'll look at maps, see what zone you're in, see if we can even do it feasibly. Do we have base flood elevations? Do we not? Do we need to get an engineer involved for a drainage study or not? There's lots of steps to take, but those are the first steps. We look at it, we see which direction we need to go.
So
we
let's
know
say it's
about
easy.
what it's going to cost.
Did that one that we did out at Indian Creek, did that have base flood elevation? Is that why it
I
took
don't
so
recall,
long?
actually.
I bet that's why it took a long time.
Yeah, that is why it took so long, because I had to get.
So you had to determine the BFE.
Yep.
Now we know what that means.
Yep.
Okay, so, because it's not what I was told it meant. So you determine the base flood elevation. I can't say it on the air. Okay, so then what do you do with that? Because at some point you're measuring what this base flood elevation is compared to where the lowest level of the property
Yes,
is.
so
Is that right?
this
For
drainage
house?
study tells us how high the water will be. And then I, as a surveyor, will go out and measure how high the house is and compare that to how high the water will get. And sometimes we get lucky and that house is above what it's going to flood, and we can submit to FEMA and show them the data and the evidence that we have, and they will send us a letter back that removes a structure from a flood zone.
Okay, so I feel like that's pie in the sky. I mean, I feel like that is less likely to happen than decreasing my flood insurance. Is that accurate?
Much, yes.
All right, so for most of us, what we're going to do.
Don't get a whole lot of them out.
No, I would imagine not, because really most of them probably legitimately are in the flood zone.
Yes.
Because the government didn't do that bad of a job.
Right, yes.
It was just kind of like a C+ or a B- job, right?
B, I'd say a B.
Mike's like, I'm not going to go there. Dang it, play my games. Okay, so really and truly though, what I would do is, it's the exact same process, and you're going to have an elevation certificate, and then I take my elevation certificate to my insurance company, right?
Yes.
And then they can determine if they can reduce my insurance or not.
Yes.
And that might help me, which in turn can change my mortgage amount. I mean, it's just because flood insurance would be included in my mortgage payment usually.
Right.
So incredibly
Yes,
helpful.
girl.
And that's something that I think is I think that's one of the values that you provide that we don't always recognize or see, because flood zone is so goofy. Like, we just don't all understand it. I mean,
most people
I don't
avoid
really
it
understand
altogether.
Right.
Completely.
So I guess I'm not going to put you on the air, but if my memory serves correctly, it's well worth me doing that usually, to have you do the elevation certificate, because over the life of my loan, over the life of my flood insurance,
It's well worth
initiating
the conversation about it.
Absolutely.
Whether we finish it or not.
So
it's well worth talking about it.
All right, I have to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about storm rooms.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Homeowners and business owners, Do you want to know how to extend the life of your home or commercial building? Call APC LLC in Woodward. APC specializes in installing high-quality 5-inch and 6-inch seamless guttering and custom commercial guttering. Whether it's a small system or a large system, APC can help. Call APC LLC at 580-571-2384. That number again is 580-571-2384 for all your seamless gutter needs.
Our home is usually our largest investment, and we insure it against damage. One unseen destructive force not covered by most insurance policies is termites, which can infest a house for years before being detected. Termites cost U.S. homeowners an estimated $5 billion annually in treatment and repairs. Using the Centricon termite bait system, JCP Services can protect your home from the threat of a termite infestation. Call 580-334-5380. Again, 580-334-5380.
Stop in to Modern Appliance on Main Street today to see powerful Maytag brand kitchen appliances available in a finish inspired by cast iron. Cast iron black is a hard-working, matte finish that is as tough as it is timeless, so you can trust it to help resist scratches while helping hide fingerprints and minor dents and stand up to the everyday. Add an iconic look to your home with cast iron black kitchen appliances from Maytag brand. See it at Modern Appliance, 2102 Main, or online at modernappliancewoodward.com.
For 150 years, Sherwin-Williams has been an industry leader in the development of technologically advanced paint and coatings. As the nation's largest specialty retailer of paint and painting supplies, Sherwin-Williams is dedicated to supporting both your do-it-yourselfers and painting professionals with exceptional products, resources to make confident color selections, and expert personalized service that's focused on your unique project needs. Sherwin-Williams is your neighborhood paint store. Stop by and see them, 2101 Oklahoma Avenue, or call them 580-256-5861.
Hey, we're back.
And we're back.
This
Hello.
is the Mike and Kindra Show.
Or the Kindra and Mike Show.
Quit trying to run everything, Mike. Okay, so you were kind of late, and you scared me a little bit.
A little bit.
Your phone might look like I yelled. I didn't mean it. It was an accident. I did not use all caps on purpose, really. Okay.
Yes, you did. I know you didn't.
All right, so real quick, one of the people that watches us, Amanda at Woodward County Abstract, is watching us on our Facebook Live, and she asked where all you can survey. So real quick, you want to hit that and tell us?
Let's talk about it again. So each state has their own specific board. You have to be licensed in each state to practice land surveying in that state. I'm licensed in Oklahoma and Kansas. I can survey all over Oklahoma, but something a lot of people don't know is there are unique qualities about each area.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to go to Oklahoma City or Tulsa and try to survey because local surveyors know where local monuments are that have been used forever, and I could get something wrong or make an error or a mistake.
Right. And
by
I
not
think
coming off the wrong
professionalism,
point, so.
I think that's the professionalism in you. I feel that way as a realtor. I do not want to list properties in an area I'm not familiar with because I just don't know the ins and outs of that market. And I can learn. I mean, I've even said if I were to move, I would be afraid to start. Honestly, I just don't think I have the personality for it, but I'd be afraid to do real estate in a different community.
Wow.
Because I would have to learn that market and learn neighborhoods and which neighborhoods are really comparable. And I think it's similar with the surveying.
Yeah.
And so I get that. I totally do. And I think that that's important and professional to recognize, ooh, that's probably an area I don't want to work in yet until I know it better or
recommend
not
somebody
at all.
that's in the area that you know
but
to
what areas
take care of them.
do you serve? Because you're in Garfield County a lot.
A lot, yes.
You are Woodward born, Woodward raised.
Yep.
And you are partial to Woodward, right?
Yep.
But
I am.
But you do a lot of work in Garfield County. So where else are
Garfield County, Dewey, Ellis, Major, Harper, Woods, Grant, Alfalfa, all of the Panhandle, Roger Mills County.
you love driving to Guyman, don't you?
Yes, I do. Boise City's even better.
The other day I called I've never heard you sound like that. Yes, I'm driving to Guyman. I think you had a little road hypnosis going on.
Probably, yeah.
All right, so real quick, storm cellars. It is storm season. You have a nice storm room. Your storm room's like as big as half my house, I think.
Is it really?
I mean,
okay,
you kind of called me
house,
out.
Actually.
I thought you had a big storm room.
It is large for a storm room.
Yeah.
But it's not half of your house.
Okay, well, I bet it's as big as my daughter's bedroom or bigger.
Oh, okay.
It's huge, isn't it?
Is big,
Isn't the
yes.
one in the back
Yes.
like
in the closet?
Like you go from the bathroom into that room and then to the other room.
Closet, yeah, yep.
It's huge, y'all.
It's big.
I think it's bigger than my bedroom in my tiny house. It's ginormous.
I'll have to get more animals to fill it out.
Maybe a mini longhorn.
And oh yes, many donkeys.
So real quick, your daughter Caitlin
Yep.
runs your office, and she does a fantastic job.
She does. She's
that
great.
girl is stinking
Keeps
incredible.
everything on track,
Yes.
on time. Mostly.
She does a
She
great
does
job.
a good job.
So if we wanted to order a survey, how do we do that?
You just call us at 580-256-6757. We'll take a little bit of information from you, legal description, where the property is, what you want to do with the survey, and we'll sure get back to you or talk to you right then about what your needs are.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on today because I was really sweating that you were going to show up and I'd have to do it alone.
I wouldn't leave you
So
hanging.
next week is the Hugh and Kindra Show. We're going to have Hugh Lively with
Oh,
our office,
wow.
Keller Williams. It's going to be fun.
Special guest.
Hugh Lively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're going to talk about
So it's
land.
the Kindra Show.
So, no, it's going to be the Hugh and Kindra Show. Oh, do you want to come back on and help?
One day.
Be the Mike and Kindra with Hugh show?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
Your new favorite, Classic Hits 107.3 KLSI Moreland Woodward. Tell a friend.